Hey everybody. So, it's estimated that over 600,000 people in America or the United States will die of cancer every year. Um, Now that's nowhere near as high as dogs. I had no idea it was that many dogs suffered from it. But I started thinking, like in my life, like there's a pattern starting to emerge. Most of the animals we've had in living with us and our family have all developed cancer or tumors. Um, and they've all eaten processed food. So, this processed food thing here in America, this is where a government, like once a populace is shown that they have a problem with something that the government allows, if they're a good government, in my opinion, it's the duty of that good government to put regulations to not allow these type of things to be sold. When you see something that's hurting your populace and you see the populace has a trouble not buying this thing, then you need to take it off the market, make it illegal. It's literally poison. We're feeding them poison. And these pet food companies are probably making billions, if not trillions of dollars off of this, while millions of dogs are dying from cancer every single year. And it's really sad with the dogs because they don't have a choice. We live in domesticated America where they're reliant on us buying them their food. They don't get to choose their food. They have no choice. They have to eat just what we give them because otherwise they're not going to eat anything at all. So my heart really goes out to these animals. But at the same time, I mean, it really does. But it's also the government's fault because they allow this food to be sold in the first place. This is where we need free market is not good. Free market leads to shit like this happening, and it's bad. We need regulations. We need people in government that are going to stand up for things that are really good for not just human beings, but for the earth and animals. Okay, enough is enough of this stuff. So we need to get together some type of petition. I mean, I have a very small channel, so I don't. It'd be nice if some of these larger channels would try to do this, because if you get enough people to sign these things in enough different states, you can start taking over things state by state. You can get petitions sent to local lawmakers and local senators and representatives and be like, yo, the people have voted and they decide that we do not want you to sell this type of stuff in our markets. They've been able to do it because I know there's this town called Sandy just up, just a little farther north. And it was like 2 years, it might have been more than 2 years ago, but anyway, a few years ago, they had figured out a way to make it illegal to sell marijuana. Even though everywhere else in Oregon they sell weed and it's completely legal, but in this one town, they specifically, because that in that county, they voted that they did not want marijuana to be sold on their property, and it wasn't. So we can do the same thing with processed food. And again, my heart really goes out to the animals because they have no choice. They just have to eat what we give them. And my heart goes out to people too, because a lot of children are fed things and children don't have the ability to choose either for the most part. And unfortunately, a lot of parents don't dive very deep into nutrition for whatever reason. I mean, we're just not taught it. So, we expect, this is where the problem we have in America is, we put a lot of trust in experts and doctors and people that look official and say that they know what the hell they're talking about. And oftentimes, the devil, he's always going to try to trick you. He's going to try to deceive you. He's going to try and pull one over you. So he's going to make himself look like he's the answer when in actuality, he's the one, giving you the poison. And then he's going to give you some remedy that pretend like it actually helps, but it actually just a Band-Aid to help fucking keep the wound from hurting so bad, but it's not actually going to help heal the wound. So my point is, because we suffer from a lack of education and nutrition, we're all suffering greatly. And the more we continue to allow these, in my opinion, evil companies to sell us poison, the more others are going to suffer too. So again, I encourage, especially the bigger channels, but which is more of us speaking on this is good too. But some of these big channels, you guys have real power, man. You have a lot of influence. And if you bigger channels started working together, to create an even larger, stronger force, that would be even better. And then, we can start talking to representatives. We can find out good representatives and bad representatives. And we can also get the people's attention. And if these representatives aren't representing the people, they should not be in office. So you get them out of office. But we need to have people coming together in agreement and consent of just simple goals like this, like getting rid of processed food. It's a big fucking deal. and they make a lot of money off of it, and a lot of us are suffering because of it. So this is where government needs to stand up and do what it's supposed to do in a good way, which is to govern the mind. But we have a bad government right now, which is why they're governing us in a bad way. But in order for us to get a good government, you got to expose the truth and stand up for what's right and just do the work to change it. So, you know, there's still stuff that we can do like this now, even though I talk about detaching from the system and all this and that. Yeah, do that, but also help other people so they don't suffer as much by trying to put in motions like this. And at the end of the day, it would just require somebody signing off a little signature to say they agree to a petition, and laws can get passed this way, things can get done this way, but we have to work together. And it requires enough people also, which is why if you have a large audience, you have that much more power. It is what it is. Just use it in a good way. All right, y'all take care. Bye.